You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet, and welcome to another TADPOG podcast. It's a show that happens twice a week, where two old guys play some really old games.
Not super old.
It's
not like we're playing Go.
It's a whole it was a whole Nicole Nance ago.
Yeah, we are playing a game today that came out before Nicole was born. So that's yay.
That's our unit of retro gaming per Nicole Nance.
BN.
It came out half a Nicole ago, or a Nicole and a half ago.
It's like carbon dating.
Yeah. But let's see, this week, it's Original Flavor Wednesday, so we're playing down through Digital Trends Top 25 Sega Genesis games. This week, we are on 12?
Sure.
I know the game.
I don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah. Well, it's Fatal Fury.
Yeah, that's the game.
Fatal Fury.
It's 12 or 13.
Something like
that. Probably 12.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like it is.
It's weird because we did Kid Chameleon, and then because Kid Chameleon's a Genesis game, it messed up it corrupted my data, my spreadsheet I've got in my mind, where it's like, oh, wait, which one are we on? Yeah, it's 12 or 13.
Yeah, it's fine. You can go. I mean, if you're interested, you can just look it up. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll have a link to that in the show notes, or not.
But before we get to all that, I'm your beard host, Tyler, and there's a big manila envelope over there.
Yeah, this is from Shadowrunner. Kody Stinson.
Let's see here.
I tried not to bend that fucker up because it looks like there's some paper in there, and I didn't know. I think I did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I guess the Shadowrun mod.
I don't know. Maybe. I think it might be like a Shadowrun poster.
I'm gonna put my money on. Yes. Something Shadowrun
related. It has
related.
to be something Shadowrun. There's a letter that looks all nice and typed up.
It is. And you're right. It is a Shadowrun Returns poster. I do like that. Gotta love that game.
Yeah, it's a great game. I need to play the rest of them because I've only played Shadowrun Returns. I haven't played Dragonfall or Boston Lockdown or the Hong Kong one, which I hear is not great. Or did I have them mixed?
I think Boston Lockdown, because it's made by a different company that did.
I got them switched
Shadowrun
up.
Returns, Dragonfall, and Hong Kong. But no, that's a very nice poster. I like that very much.
I wonder if he gifted us his Kickstarter reward.
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know.
Let's find out. Melon farming TADPOG. Was cleaning up the man cave and found this Shadowrun Returns poster that I thought you might like to have. Perhaps it will find a place of prominence in the studio. Now that the offering is made, how about a question? Do you recall your first paper RPG characters? My first RPG was TMNT and Other Strangeness, but I never actually played it.
Wait, read that again? It was his first RPG that he read, but he never played it? Is that what he said?
Let's see. Do you recall your first paper RPG characters? My first RPG was TMNT and Other Strangeness, but I never actually played it.
Okay, so I guess that's the first book that he had?
Yeah.
Because Time Lord Josh Edwards, I know that's the first RPG that he played.
Oh.
Which I remember because I own that book, and I've thought about running it before. And when Josh mentioned that he had played it, I was like, oh, well, if I ever run this, I'll make sure to invite Josh Edwards.
Yeah.
And now Kody Stinson.
Guess let's see. My first paper RPG was my freshman year of college, playing D&D 3.0 under Ramon. And my first character, I don't have a great experience getting attached to evil characters. I think I've only had one evil character that I enjoyed. But my first evil, Jacob was like, dude, you had to be lawful evil. Everybody else is like good and neutral. You need to be lawful evil. I was like, okay, well, I was very into reading The Dark Tower at the time. So I was like, who's lawful evil to me? Okay, Eldred Jonas.
That racist woman.
Eldred Jonas, the big coffin hunter from The Dark Tower. So I made a character, and I named Eldred, and loosely based him off Eldred Jonas and the Gunslinger. and we created a sort of a world. His backstory sort of led a world, sort of like Midworld, but different enough. And Eldred, I had a tough time playing him as evil until I decided, fuck this, I want to be good. He's gonna change. He's gonna see the light, and became then a bunch of like stuff that no one's really gonna care about happens. He goes to hell. He becomes a half fiend. He comes back. Blah blah blah. He repents.
Yada.
Becomes a paladin. So he's a paladin gunslinger. It was fun. I miss Eldred. I played him again in the D20 Modern equivalent in Jacob's D20 Modern game. That was also fun. So it's my first character.
I don't remember the name of mine. That's how into RP I was when I was in 6th grade. Because I think we played... we graduated from Hero Quest to D&D, and we played 2nd edition. And we were all pretty much expected to die. There was never a campaign that finished, because it was just like we all pretty much expected to die the first session, which is usually what happened. I remember I desperately wanted to play something out of the Monster Manual. So I was that kid. I never really wanted to play a class or...
That's why Savage Species was your favorite 3.5 book.
It wasn't. It wasn't, because I had outgrown that.
It was a weird book.
It is a weird book.
My first actual character was for Rifts, if you haven't heard of it. I recommend looking it up. The DM allowed me to play a dragon in human form, piloting a suit of power armor.
Nice.
It was pretty broken.
I have heard of Rifts. I've never played it, though.
Another guy played a lizard man techno wizard that we called a techno lizard. We're some clever motherfuckers, let me tell you.
Some clever melon farmers.
Clever melon farmers. I don't recall much about the campaign aside from fighting robots and a giant AI brain named Archie.
Nice.
After that, we played Star Wars, the West End Games version. And guess what I played? I played a Jedi. Only thing of note was getting into it with a Wookiee over some tea. What really got me into RPGs was D&D 2nd edition, which I have to thank the Dragonlance novels for. So good, read them. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about them.
I have too. I haven't read any of them, though.
The Dritz novels, yeah, I've read everything up until 3.5 kicks in of those.
Those are tough for me. I do not enjoy them very much.
It's... See, I can't make myself pick up any of the new ones. I'm just not interested. When
I read them, I feel like I am studying, and I'm not actually reading for enjoyment.
Okay, that's fair.
So that's why
I think either you love Salvatore's style or you just don't.
Yeah, I don't know. He's prolific. I don't want to say anything bad about him because like I like all the fiction that he's created. Like I like that a lot. But like actually reading some of his stuff is a little difficult for me.
Drow's so awesome. And EverQuest was there day one. Fondest memories with MMO.
Damn, dude.
That's some ground floor shit.
That game is still going on. Did you know that?
Mm-hmm. Why Grand Maester Wiley and correspondent Laura love EverQuest. Fucking love it. I have the EverQuest RPG somewhere in this house. It's their book, and I somehow ended up with it coming back from DC.
Wait, the tabletop RPG? There's a tabletop version of EverQuest?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep. Local gaming store had a 2nd edition game going. It was probably 3 to 6 months before 3rd edition came out. Traded my original Magic cards for the core 2nd ed books.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay. This next sentence breaks my nerd heart.
Is it because of the value of the books versus the value of the cards?
Yes.
Yeah, it has to be.
I had Black Lotus.
Damn, dude. Oh, my God. No.
I had the Mox and a bunch of other super rare cards that by today's standards. Yes, I was an idiot. Whew.
You know what?
Ooh.
My heart was broken on the first sentence because it's like reading that, I was like, oh, those books are worthless now because we can buy them on Amazon or eBay for like a couple dollars.
Yep. It's just like that kid in high school. I traded Chrono Trigger, Earthbound, Final Fantasy VI, and something else for his Game Boy, Tetris, and something else just because I wanted a Game Boy.
Yeah.
It's like, sometimes you just do some dumb shit.
I pawned my saxophone, a very nice Selmer Paris tenor saxophone, in order to buy some shitty 3rd edition books.
I remember this.
So that's a huge regret of mine, Cody. So you're not alone.
Made a dual-wielding human fighter because I know making a dual-wielding Dark Elf Ranger might be frowned upon. Who longed to marry a mermaid. Kiddo would appreciate that story. He ended up dying to a
She
death
loves
knight.
dual wielding.
She loves human fighters. He ended up dying to a death knight via power word kill in the climactic battle of the campaign. The prologue involved him getting rezzed and eventually finding and marrying that mermaid. Anyway, enough about let me tell you about my character. What was yours? Shadowrunner Kody S. P.S.
Oops. I hope we're allowed to use your last name.
Yeah, I think we've said it plenty of
We've
times
said
before.
it lots, yeah.
Well, P.S. While 5th Ed is great for ease of play, I think 2nd Ed was the best edition of D&D. Of course you do. It's your first edition.
Yeah,
That's kind of how I feel about, once I found Pathfinder. Otherwise, man, I was so disinterested for a long time because I loved 3.0 and 3.5. I felt like I was cheating on it to play something else, and I was adamantly opposed to it.
I played a lot of stuff, so it's easy for me to switch editions and stuff. And I know for the longest time even Call of Cthulhu you wouldn't play. I remember when you were I guess it was after your first Dragon Con or something, and you were like, I'm kind of interested in Call of Cthulhu. And I was like, what? You were interested in Call of Cthulhu?
I'm interested in cheating on Dungeons & Dragons.
Yeah. 5th edition's great, man. I love 5th edition. I'm not going to lie. It is my favorite edition of Dungeons & Dragons. And I've played 2nd, 3, 3.5. I tested 4th edition with
enough
Ramon.
to not like it.
And I didn't like it. But 5th edition, man, that's the fucking sweet spot. And they are doing it right by not publishing a whole bunch of supplemental texts that bloat the game.
Yep.
I hope that the moment that they do that is the moment that 5th edition will probably fall from grace, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, right. Greed. I mean, and it will eventually. I'm sure greed will eventually take over.
They need money.
But
I hope, I don't know the numbers, but I hope that Wizards Hasbro is making enough money off of the adventures that they're publishing.
Yeah.
Because those come out frequently. I hope those sell well, and I buy those. A lot of them I don't run. I'd buy them hoping we'll just keep doing this. This is decent content, and it's not destroying my game. Because that's what
true.
happened in 3rd and 3.5.
Oh, yeah. And
even Pathfinder.
Or Josh's game where he let both 3.5 rules and Pathfinder rules go.
Oh, that was broken. We were all broken.
I made a broken character.
Yeah, which is fun. That has its place, but I got it. The older I get, the more I just want some well-defined structure to work in.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm loving 5th Ed. I'm loving your games. It's all been good. It's all been good with 5th Ed.
If I had more time, like I did in college, maybe I would be on board for a 3.5 D&D style edition, because I had a lot of time in college and I got a lot of enjoyment poring over all those supplementary.
Our huge stacks upon stacks of books of just pouring.
Between all of us, we had probably 2 to 3 copies of every 3.5 book.
Yep.
I mean, we had so many books. If you pulled all of our players' handbooks together, we probably had 12 of them.
Yep. Oh man, I remember those days, counting my quarters to buy whatever books were coming out that month. Every month, I spent almost $120 on whatever books were coming out.
Yeah, you could easily do that. And that's depressing to think about because, like we said earlier, you can get those books for really cheap now. But I get it, man. I mean, I think everyone has their favorite edition.
Yeah, I think, whatever, you have the warm and fuzzies about, nostalgia is a powerful, powerful thing.
But see, I separate the story from the system. I loved the games that you ran in college, and it's those are very much 3rd edition 3.5 games. Mm-hmm. But I don't love that system as much as I love the story that you told. So to me, it really doesn't matter what system we play. In fact, I'd kind of rather play a system that doesn't get in the way of
the story, which in 3.5,
it can.
So many rules. Yeah, you've actually had to it was hard to justify you just wanting to do something for a story or for a villain or
yeah. And I don't want to come across like I'm saying that I'm not the kind of person who will straight up get into the mechanics, because I like that too. That's fun. But now with my time, the amount of time that I have, 5th edition is
Let's
nice.
look at one book.
Because exactly. It's yes, one book, please.
I think D&D has lost some of its flavor over the years. Compare the art, you'll see what I mean.
Yeah, I like some of that old art from 2nd edition.
But what about Shadowrun? Didn't come into the picture for a little while. Probably the SNES game introduced me to it. followed by the Genesis game, so good, and reading the Never Deal with the Dragon novel and its 2 sequels. I recommend them.
I've got them.
I'm interested in that.
I'll let you borrow them if you don't mind. Dead Tree.
It's hard to see. I don't have time to sit down and read books anymore. It's like audiobook on the way back and forth from work and running errands, or it doesn't happen.
GTFO.
Yep.
I don't know if there are audiobooks of those. I hope there is.
I know a lot of the Dritz books are now on audio. It took a long fucking time, though.
There's one that I think Ice-T read, like a D&D
right.
short story.
More than likely, my first Shadowrun character was a human street samurai, as 99% of my Shadowrun characters are. There's a one at the bottom of this page making me think there's another page, but I don't see anything. He did put PPS, so I guess there's not.
It's just a regular
automatic
footer.
formatting.
What was the PPS?
The What About Shadowrun?
Oh, What About Shadowrun? I got you. You know what? I've played so little Shadowrun tabletop. Like, the only time I've played Shadowrun tabletop has been at Dragon Con.
Yeah.
And those are all one-shot adventures. So, like, I don't have a
hard
deep
to
connection with mine.
Yeah.
I liked yours that you ran, the cross-dressing troll.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, she was a girl. It was a girl.
oh, it
troll.
was a girl. I didn't realize that
she
it was a girl troll.
I played a girl troll.
I gotcha.
Betsy.
I thought you were
She liked Harlequin romance novels.
in sundresses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I said I want to play a female troll, Jacob slapped down his character. He's gonna win best role player this game.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anna did.
Yeah. I'm glad they don't. I don't like that. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
I don't like that competitive element to the cooperative game.
Yeah.
I think it's dumb.
No, I get that. Because Jacob and I got too into competing for whoever could walk away with the most.
Yeah, I didn't want to play
the
with
most
you guys.
pewter coins. Yeah.
I did not want to play with you guys that year because it was like every single game I played with you guys was just completely over the top. Like, there could not be
Yeah.
a subtle moment in those games. And I like to play subtle characters.
Yeah.
So it's like a guaranteed where it's like, well, I'm never going to get a coin. And it's like, I guess I could just have to live with that.
We quit though. I still have mine
At the
in my
next
desk
con.
though. Yeah, it's true. We quit because I didn't go this year. Oh, all right. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
You hear that, Dave?
I do hear that. I am your bespectacled host, Dave, and I hear what sounds like some kind of like cyberpunk train sled thing. I hear the train from Final Fantasy VII that
Okay.
that Cloud kind of gets out of the way of.
Backflips off of.
Awkwardly.
Just triangles in
I
motion.
know. Which in stark contrast with the lavishly painted background. Which, of course, ushers in a segment that we like to call Dave Reads from Wikipedia. This is where we start actually talking about the game. Okay, guys. Fatal Fury, King of Fighters, or as it's known in Japanese, Garo Densetsu Shukimi no Tatakai, which translates to Legend of the Hungry Wolf, the Battle of Destiny.
Okay.
They get the coolest fucking names. Like, how much better of a name is Legend of the Hungry Wolf, the Battle of Destiny? Like, and we get Fatal Fury.
Yeah.
Which is like easily confused with Final Fight. Like, if you're not like deep
Yeah.
into it, like,
There's a lot of ways to confuse with a Final Fight.
yeah. Okay, so it is a 1991 head-to-head fighting game released by SNK for the Neo Geo arcade and home platforms. It was SNK's first fighting game for the Neo Geo system and served as the inaugural game in their Fatal Fury series, as well as the first game to depict the fictional King of Fighters tournament, which became the basis for the later King of Fighters series. Many of SNK's mainstay characters include the Bogard brothers, Terry and Andy, their friend Joe Higashi, and their nemesis, Geese Howard. They all made their debut in this game. All of that was specifically for the Neo Geo.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this did have a Super Nintendo and a Genesis release. We are talking about the Genesis version, which I did look up while we were doing intros, is the 12th game on Digital Trends Top 25 Genesis games. So the Genesis version was released in 1993. It was published by Sega in Japan and by Takara in North America. This version removes the characters of I do not know how to pronounce his name. Here's a stab. Hua J and Billy Kane from the roster.
Billy Kane?
Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce this one. Billy Kane. Billy Kanye. They relegated these two characters that were in the Neo Geo version to background sprites into arenas, two stages in the game. So they have cameos, but they're not playable characters. Instead, in the Genesis version, the player faces against the other two main characters during the course of the single-player mode. So instead of fighting Billy Kane and Hua Jie, you fight the two other main characters that you didn't choose to play as. This version allows both players to play as the CPU-controlled characters in the game's versus mode, with Geese Howard available via a cheat code. So at least there's that. I mean, at least there's that, because you cannot play as any other character other than Terry, Andy, or Joe in the real version of this game.
Yeah, because this apparently because the Neo Geo game is supposedly very, very good, and that this is like the worst port of it.
I have read that. I have not played all of the ports. I have played the arcade version in a Neo Geo cabinet. Obviously, it's better than the Genesis version, but I'll be honest with you. If this is a bad port, all of the other Fatal Furies are exceptional ports. Because I mean, obviously there's a difference. It's not as good, but I do feel like it's pretty damn good. I've seen much worse ports, Primal Rage, of other fighting games.
Because because I don't know, because I vaguely remember the Bogard brothers just absorbing them like in the gaming ethos of people talking about them. I never really played these games. SNK is just like I hear that's a thing. Okay.
Do you remember the TADPOG episode we recorded for Fatal Fury 2?
With Jacob and Zach?
That's an early episode that I wanted to listen to before, I wanted to revisit some of those points. Totally didn't listen to it.
Oh, because that was... You spent like 5 or 6 hours editing that episode because it was just so
bad. The audio was really
over
bad.
The place.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, and we had to cut a lot out.
Because Zach got drunk, and then Jacob got very reprimanding of Zach, and it was just everywhere.
So if you want to hear the final product, I will have a link to that episode in the show notes. I think it's nice because is that the only episode that we've had Zach and Jacob on at the same time?
I think so.
So you get to see how they interact.
You see that wonderful formula. But, because I don't have a lot of experience with these games, I remember thinking Fatal Fury 2 for the SNES was okay.
Yeah, I liked it.
But, this game, I did not enjoy.
I'm not too surprised. I didn't expect you to enjoy this.
You're much more of a fighting game connoisseur than I am. I started out on Street Fighter 2, and unless it's like old other editions of D&D, Street Fighter 2 is my base, and that's a high bar for any game of any era, because Street Fighter 2 is amazing.
Any particular version of Street Fighter 2?
Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
Okay, so the classic one for SNES.
Yeah. So, other than that, so I'm comparing this game to that the whole time I'm playing it.
Yeah, that's tough.
And that makes it...
That's tough.
Makes it seem really bad by comparison.
Okay, so let's compare it. I feel like that's a good way to kind of talk about Fatal Fury, is to compare it to another fighting game that probably more people are familiar with.
Yeah.
Now, I also want everybody to keep in mind the gap of time between Fatal Fury and Street Fighter 2. There's a gap of time there. Fatal Fury is an early fighting game.
So this came out before Street Fighter game?
No, this came after Street Fighter 1.
Okay.
But it came out... I don't know off the top of my head how many years it came out before Street Fighter 2, but I think it came out before Street Fighter 2 by a pretty wide margin.
Oh, then I'd say Street Fighter 2 definitely copied off of this game then.
Well...
Or took its elements and made it better.
I would say that too, but what's interesting about Fatal Fury is they took some of the elements from Street Fighter 1 and pulled it into Fatal Fury. So there's this really... weird ancestral relationship that these two franchises have with one another, because they're all borrowing from one another, and there are tropes that you see continue from one game to the other kind of deal.
Yeah.
They're they're very similar, like on the surface. When you kind of get down into the nitty gritty, SNK fighters are a lot more technical than Capcom fighters, if you can believe that.
Okay. I can believe it.
Later,
you're saying it.
yeah.
Okay?
Oh, I like
believe
that.
it.
I like that. Man, I'm like, I feel like a Billy Mitchell or something. So, like, as the Fatal Fury series kind of morphs into the King of Fighters, it starts getting really technical with like the jumping mechanics, where there's like several different kinds of jumps. There's not just a regular jump. There's like a half jump and stuff like that.
Oh.
So it gets super technical, while the Street Fighter series kind of, I'd say, kind of straddles the middle line between like SNK and then like Mortal Kombat or something like that.
Okay, so I can see SNK as a real, like, it is a hardcore fans.
Yeah, it's tough for me to like, even because like I picked up 13, I think it was 13 on Steam. That game is fucking hard to not just like like the difficulty is not just hard, the learning curve is hard.
Yeah.
Because it's like when I sat down to play it, I was like, oh, this is gonna take me like maybe a few hours just to figure out how to play it before I really even get into all the different characters.
Yeah. Damn.
And that's also me. I'm kind of a little bit like I have some perfectionist tendencies. So it's like you could jump right into it and play it, but like with fighting games, I'm very methodical, where it's like, all right, I'm going to like learn the basics, and then I'm going to do training for an hour, and then I'm going to start playing CPU opponents in the lowest difficulty.
Yeah, you approach fighting games like a calm, cool professional. Like,
yeah, I will take that as a compliment.
You sit down like, oh, it's a fighting game. You have like a suit on, your suitcase. You sit down, you open your suitcase. You're going to do business with this fighting game.
Yeah, which is really interesting, because like I love Smash Brothers series, but that's a different kind of game. To me,
entirely.
Because that's more of like I don't want this to come across the wrong way. Because I love Super Smash Brothers. I love that series, but that is a more fun game, I think, than like King of Fighters or even like Street Fighter, because it's like I feel like there are fun strategies and elements that you can exploit in Smash Brothers that aren't available in other fighters. I feel like other fighters are very much like, this is a test of your abilities. And I feel like Smash Brothers is like, this can be a test of your abilities. It depends on how you play it. It depends on what kind of mode you're on. There's also a lot of fun modes that you can do, which is how we normally play it.
Yeah.
Which I like. But man, I got on a weird fighting game tangent.
That's your
Sorry
thing,
about
man.
that.
That's your thing. You're good at it. I'd say it's one of your top gaming abilities.
It's probably, like as far as like natural talent in a video game, maybe. I do not think that I am a good.
You're the Sasuke Uchiha fighting games.
I do not think that is accurate. You flatter me. Thank you.
So Bull Popcorn, I guess, is the Kakashi Hatake of fighting games.
Wow, you're really good at saying those.
I've watched Shippuden entirely in Japanese.
I feel like like when you're watching something that's subtitled and they say something in American. American.
No, you got it right, man. Yeah. No, man, you spoke right.
American English, not the Queen's.
No, there's no such thing as an American accent, man. It's just American. It's just English, just words.
It's like when you're watching a Korean soap opera, like you do, and then all of a sudden you hear Disney World.
But if Street Fighter 2 is like a big budget studio movie, SNK or Fatal Fury feels like a B movie to me.
They don't have the mass appeal that Street Fighter does.
I can see the heart and the appeal and the cult feel to it, but I didn't enjoy it. To me, it felt like Final Fight turned into a fighting game.
Yeah, I think that's fair, because I think that's kind of like where the roots of fighting games came from.
Yeah.
They came from these brawlers. And I mean, this was kind of this style, Fatal Fury and Street Fighter 1, like these were big games, like because they were different. They were radically different. There were fighting games. Like I've got very fond memories of playing. Oh God, Kung Fu Championship. Is that the name of the game? The NES game with my dad, where you're like guy in a white gi and guy in a red gi, and you're fighting each other with like some very basic punches, kicks, jump attacks, that kind of thing. But like Street Fighter 1 came out and it started implementing command inputs, and like that changed the genre. And fighting games became really big in arcades, and meanwhile, brawlers continued to be more popular on consoles. So I think there was this interesting divide, which of course doesn't exist anymore because arcades are super rare now.
Yeah.
But I do think that it's interesting. I do think that like that's how the fighting genre kind of evolved. It very much went into this like special move input kind of route. And then just started building on top of that with combos and reversals and all
counters
kinds of stuff like that.
And all sorts of shit. Because this, I don't know, there's just something about it. And one, I think Terry Bogard is just fucking ridiculous looking.
He does look like, does he not look like Pizza Delivery Man?
Yeah.
With his red cap and his red jacket. Like he looks like...
He's the white Kino from Turtles 2.
Thank you. Thank you. He is the white Kino, but he has luxurious long blonde hair.
Because I played as Terry in this game, and just because you're playing through, I guess you're going through like the boroughs of a city,
right?
Challenging people.
I believe it's called South Side.
We have South Side, the same thing. And as you're playing through that, you get these cut scenes of geese like issuing these demands and wanting to know like who is fighting all of his men and winning, get some information on this guy, and these weird, very pared down cutscenes.
It's Southtown, I'm sorry.
Southtown.
I needed to correct myself. That was bothering me. I had the Moby song stuck in my head.
Yeah.
Which I don't even know if it's called Southside.
It is Southside.
Yeah,
yep.
Got it. I'm right on something tonight.
That was one of Shake's jams in high school.
Mine too. So, yeah, Shake and I should bond over that next time he's in America.
God, you know, he'd be like, yeah, man, let's listen to it. Let's go to the car and listen to it 100 times.
I'm down to do a bonus episode where we talk to Shake about Moby's South Side. Or the whole Play album. Fuck it.
Just Gwen Stefani in general.
Yeah, man, I could talk about Gwen Stefani for a long time.
She was good.
Her beauty is timeless. I'll put it that way.
Okay. She does have she can do modern kind of pretty and 50s pinup, like trade between the two.
Yeah, she's pretty great.
Like Christina Aguilera, who I really enjoy.
Yeah, me too. Although
she's a little dirty. She's a little dirtier.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. But can I just be real for a moment? Mm-hmm. Since we're talking about celebrity judges on
The Voice?
On The Voice, can I tell you that how incredibly attractive is Alicia Keys? Like, I cannot watch an episode of The Voice without looking over at Nikki and being like, can you believe she looks like an angel? And she's like not dressed up or anything. She's
just plain. Yeah, you're right. She's just like no makeup on. Her hair.
If she's wearing makeup, it's very, very like basic, moderate. You know. Yeah, she looks great.
Alicia Keys triggers weird memories for me because all right, high school girlfriend. Break up with high school girlfriend. I date a girl named Alicia shortly. Get back with
Alicia Stefani.
It was very weird. Alicia Stefani Aguilera. It was very weird.
She was the perfect woman.
I get back with a high school girlfriend. This is around the time that Alicia Keys comes on the scene. She has the really popular "Fallin'." I keep on falling and you know. And I really enjoyed that song. Well, a high school girlfriend would flip out anytime I'd listen to that song because the person who sings the song has the same name as the girl I dated for a month before we got back together. So she would lose her shit about it.
That's a little disconcerting.
Yeah, isn't it? I know why you like that song.
Yeah.
Because it's about an Alicia.
Come on, sweet baby.
So anytime I see Alicia Keys, I'm just like, am I going to get in trouble?
Yeah. That doesn't make it more exciting for you?
Oh, we just had so many dumb fights over shit like that.
Well, I think that's everybody in high school. Although, to be fair,
I argued over dumb shit when I was 16, Dave.
yeah. Well, last episode, remember I said that I had a girlfriend who threatened to break up with me for going to see the Pokemon movie. So that's just some regular high school bullshit, I feel like. You were in the middle of something very good to say, and then I interrupted you with South Side,
I kept going.
Southtown, Moby.
And as you're playing through all those cutscenes,
Yes,
that build up to like Terry has to have his confrontation with Geese, and it's just like, oh hey, I killed your dad 10 years ago, and I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Okay, let's fight. You fight, and then Terry's like, okay, I did that thing my dad couldn't do. I guess I avenged him. I'm gonna get stronger. It's like, you're an asshole.
Yeah, it's the so the story's not what I would call good. But this is tough, man, because it's like I don't really have any invested nostalgia in this game because I didn't play it as a kid. The first time I played this game was in Flashback Arcade for the guy who dances Rhythm Master Paul Korn's birthday, which was not very long ago.
Yeah,
I mean, we're talking like months.
Yeah.
And that was the first time I played it because I saw the Neo Geo cabinet, and I was like, oh, I wonder if they have Fatal Fury. I know that's coming up on the on our list of episodes. And I played it, and I was like, oh, okay, well, this is dated. This is a dated game, and by that I mean it's obvious. It's painfully obvious that it looks good to me. Like, I honestly think it looks like it's on par. As far as the art goes, I feel like it's on par with Street Fighter and Street Fighter 2 because it's like this. I feel like the sprites are well animated. I feel like they're maybe not designed as well. Like, I don't feel like they're as iconic, like instantly iconic as some of the Street Fighter characters. Let me put it this way. All of the fighters in Fatal Fury, with the exception of Raiden, look to me like second string Street Fighter characters.
Yeah.
The non-memorable Street Fighter characters. But I still felt like it was designed well. I feel like there's like the stages look really good, even in the Genesis version. Like there's a lot of animation in the background. And I feel like I had that thought about Fatal Fury 2 for the SNES as well. Like the stages kind of feel alive, and they change as well. Cause like there's like an Asian inspired training area is one of the sections in the city that you fight on. And like it changes from round to round. Like in round 1, it's the middle of the day. Round 2, it's nighttime. And if you make it to like a round 3, like as a tiebreaker, because it's best 2 out of 3, all of a sudden it's raining. So I think that's cool that like the environment changes, and like every stage has that. And I think that's like an attention to detail that easily could have just been pushed to the side.
Yeah.
So I like that. It's almost it's artistry. I know, as like lame as it sounds to say that, it's artistry because it's like someone felt like it was important to do that.
Yeah.
And to make this game a little bit better than it could have been, like right out of the can. But yeah, it is dated because it's like one of those things where I'm used to playing a fighting game and having like some choices on who I get to play as, more than 3 choices, because that's all you have.
Yeah.
You have 3 choices in your fighter. I'm used to having, at least 6, 8 to 12, or in some fighting games,
40.
50.
Yeah.
So like I like that. I like variety in fighting games in the roster because it like adds so much playability on top of the game. I don't feel like Fatal Fury has that playability with just the stock 3 characters.
Yeah, because I remember like because they basically had to take the Neo Geo arcade and pare it down to 8 megs, which just like
Not enough megs.
Yeah, not nearly enough.
Not enough.
No.
And you can hear it also in like the voice modulation.
I think the sound and the music and the sound, everything like that involving sound is bad.
It's not great. And like the modulations, it's really, really hard to hear what they're saying. Like Terry's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Terry's, I swear, he's got this. I can't remember exactly what it's called, but it's like a ground flare. And every time I can't remember what it's called because here's why. I call it corned beef because every time he uses it, it sounds like he's saying corned beef.
He's got that trucker hat on. Like he really could be saying corned beef.
And it was like, it's weird because it's like I played this game. I didn't stream any of this game because I had to do a Windows update and like my fucking settings were all messed up until today. So I didn't stream it, but I did play this game for probably 4 to 5 hours, somewhere in that range.
Damn.
I enjoyed it. And it's like I wanted to continue playing it. When you sent me a message today saying that you were ready to record, I was very short in my responses because I was doing it like as I was fighting geese.
Oh, I just thought I made you mad.
No, you didn't. I was playing the game, and that's why I was like, oh, I'll be there. I'll be leaving in a minute because I was trying to beat this game.
Give me a second, Mom. God, let me save first.
Yeah, you showed up to my house and turned my console off. Yeah, we'll call it a console. So I enjoyed it a lot, and I thought that there was I thought this game was kind of difficult. And I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it needs to be difficult because you only have 3 characters that you can choose to play as in the first player, the one player option. But then again, maybe I found it difficult because I'm not used to playing a fighter this old. And it's got some mechanics that other fighters don't have. Like there are 2 lanes of combat. There's a foreground and a background.
Yeah, that is very different. I like that.
I like it too, but I like it better in later Fatal Fury games when you can initiate the change. And Fatal Fury 1, it puts you, the player, at a disadvantage because you cannot initiate a lane change. The opponent can change from foreground to background or vice versa, and you can choose to follow them. But you can't on your own say, I'm going to go to the foreground and background. And that's a problem because it gives the CPU an advantage because they can dodge your projectiles that way, and you cannot. Unless they happen to fire a projectile at you and then change a lane where you can follow them. But they're never going to do that because that's not the most effective way for them to play. So they'll never do it. Man, I like getting real nerdy about this shit. Do you like it? like it's just like, just getting in there, just talking about a fighting game.
Going balls deep. Man. Hitting that fighting game cervix.
I do feel like I'm hitting the fighting game cervix right now. I do. It's weird that you put it that way.
Trademark.
Because that's next shirt. Next podcast.
We're corn beefing that cervix.
Oh. Right after Oops All Goofs, our next podcast is going to be the podcast that hits the podcasting cervix. It's not really catchy, but
you'll remember it.
Yeah, you'll at least remember that cervix is in the title.
You'll write a strongly worded email about it, or a mean tweet.
That's probably more likely. I felt like the input commands in this game were weird. There are some inputs that require diagonals. Like for instance, one of Joe's flying kicks is, and apologies, I don't have the special move, their names memorized, but it's diagonal down, left, up, right, and you have to do them, and it's very, very weird because I've never really played a fighter where you deal with diagonals. They've always been like quarter circles, half circles, full circles, or on the X and Y axis, where it's just like don't worry, dog, just do horizontal, vertical, don't worry about the rest. And I feel like this is kind of like laying the groundwork of SNK being like, we are making a technical fighter. We are making a thing that is more difficult to play than Street Fighter. And that's only speculation. That's a guess.
Probably.
They have engineered the way to really just really hit that fighting game cervix. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. King of that cervix.
Yeah. King of cervix.
Did you have any achievements for this game?
I did.
Or anything else you want to talk about before we hit achievements?
There's a few.
Go ahead.
I'm telling you, I'm getting in there deep. I'm getting in there deep. I want to tell you some things you might not have known about Fatal Fury, Tyler. Something that I think is cool about this game that isn't replicated in other fighters that I've seen is the closer you are to your opponent when you hit them, the more damage you deal. I think that's wonderful.
Oh, okay.
I love that. On the downside, this game was so early that when you block by pressing back, right? So in a lot of fighters, when you hit back, as long as your opponent isn't swinging near you, you walk backwards. But in Fatal Fury, if you're hitting back and your opponent is swinging anywhere on the screen, you immediately stop, lock, shut them down, open up shop. So that's kind of annoying because it like inhibits your mobility.
Yeah. Can get that flow going.
That's right. One more thing, and that I wish the Genesis version had. The arcade version, supposedly, I did not get to experience this myself. This is just something that I've researched online, so take this with whatever you will. Supposedly, there's a co-op mode to this game in the arcade version, the Neo Geo version, where you and a friend can play the game together, and you just fight the opponents in the game. And then you get to the end of the game, and it's Double Dragon style. You have to fight each other.
Okay.
And I think that is probably a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But I cannot imagine, like, that has to make the game so fucking easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's one of those, right, where it's like, well, I'll just stay on the left side, you stay on the right side, and we'll just relentlessly beat this guy until he's dead. Yeah. So that's it.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you for indulging my
You're welcome.
fighting game.
No, I'm glad. I enjoy seeing you get very excited into this.
It's fun. It's fun to play a game on this list and be like, damn, I would play more of that.
Yeah.
And I would play more of this game. Like, no questions asked. I would play more of this game. And it actually makes me want to go back to Flashback Arcade and play the Neo Geo cabinet again and see like what I've learned does it translate?
What is different? Why is this a bad port?
Yeah. And yeah, exactly. Like really get into the nitty-gritty of like what are the nuances of this port, which is really geeky.
Nah, it's fine.
I do have some achievements.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Do you have some?
I'll think of some.
All right. I have a few. Here's my first achievement, Tyler. It is called Duck, Duck, Geese. And in order to unlock Duck, Duck, Geese, we didn't talk about any of the fucking fighters other than Terry. That's pretty much all we talked about.
Yeah.
We mentioned the others by name, but that's
They're
it.
there, but
The boss is Geese, and he's totally like Steven Seagal, like you know when
you're
Steven
right.
Seagal.
He's 100% Steven Seagal.
You remember when he like started putting on weight, and he was like, "I'm just gonna wear a kimono." That's like Geese, like, but not plump.
He's not heavy.
Not heavy. He's just wearing that kimono casual.
Just powerful with the American flag on the back.
Yeah, I know. I'm glad you noticed that too. He's like Boy Scout Troop 0048.
The evil Boy Scouts.
Yeah, we're the evil Boy Scouts. We let atheists in.
We make moves on our camp counselors.
Yeah, right.
We seduce the scout leaders ourselves.
I want to see. We need to publish. Do you think we could do a Kickstarter to raise money to produce an edgy Boy Scouts commercial?
Yeah.
Hey, remember when we didn't let homosexuals in? Well, now we do. Play it loud. We got to come up with I just stole that from Nintendo, but we got to come up with our own like catchy catchphrase.
Suck that dick.
Sucking that dick. Got my dick sucking badge. So there is back to my achievement, Duck Duck Geese. There is a character in this game named Duck King. He's the Rat King's cousin. He has a telepathic command over ducks.
Have you ever seen a Duck King where like 8 ducks just get twisted in their necks all up together?
They get their corkscrew
They're
dicks all
exploding
knotted up.
corkscrew penises. Yeah.
Well, Duck King is like a punk rocker type, and with essentially he's got like one special move that I saw, and it's Blanca's spin forward attack. He is a very easy opponent. I think he's probably the easiest opponent in the game. But to unlock Duck Duck Geese, what you have to do is play in the 2-player mode and use the cheat code to unlock Geese. Then you have to beat your opponent as Duck. Then you have to beat your opponent as Duck again. And then you have to beat your opponent as Geese to unlock Duck Duck Geese.
Okay.
That's
good.
That's a big setup for not a great payoff. Thanks for hanging in there with me, guys. I have a second achievement. You're going to like this one because it's very crass. It's called Odd Job, more like Tongue Job.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like, hey, when I get to a point where it's like, yeah, I feel like this achievement's good enough. There is another opponent in this game. He's called Tongue, T-U-N-G. He is a small Asian man wearing green.
He's Master
pajamas.
Roshi from Dragon Ball Z.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that. I haven't watched a lot of Dragon Ball Z, but I'm familiar with. He's the perverted mentor, right?
And Master Roshi has that muscular form that he can take, where he just grows. in size.
I didn't know that. I didn't know Master Roshi could do that. Because that's exactly what Tongue does. I wonder which predates which.
I bet Dragon Ball Z came out first.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that came out in the 80s, like the early Dragon Ball.
And
Dragon Ball Z. So
as far as I know, that it might even be like a trope that I don't know.
Yeah, you're right.
I don't know if it's a trope that they're building on or what. But Tongue does, just like you said, he will, at some point in the fight, transform into a Bobo, essentially. A Bobo with a Fu Manchu. And he starts doing these, like, what's the move where you put your arms out and jump up in the air and spin like a helicopter? There's a name for that,
classic,
right?
Classic fighting move.
Yeah, cyclone spin.
I see Mike Tyson do it all the time.
Double hammer fist? I don't know. I thought that you could drop some like wrestling knowledge because that like wrestlers can do that, right? Where they like spin across, they jump up in the air, put their arms out and helicopter across from one side of the ring to the other.
Leva does that.
I've seen it. I've seen it. So in order to unlock Odd Job, more like Tongue Job, you need to defeat Tongue on the first try, which is impossible because I honestly think that he is the hardest opponent in the fucking game besides Geese. I burned so many credits on that guy. It's crazy. And Odd Job, of course, because as we all know from GoldenEye. Yeah. And like this character, Tongue, I can't remember the rest of his name, so I'll just call him Tongue. His hitbox is so small. Like he is one of those characters where it's like, in like Marvel versus Capcom, where it's like, Servbot is banned. Because it's like impossible to hit Servbot.
Yeah.
I feel like Fatal Fury in like a Fatal Fury tournament, I wouldn't be surprised where it's like, you cannot play as that guy because all of your high attacks will miss. Guaranteed. The only way you can hit him with a high attack is if he happens to be jumping. So that is my second achievement.
Okay.
My third and last achievement, Tyler, is called My Name is Terry Bogard. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
It's good.
And in order to unlock My Name is Terry Bogard, You Killed My Father, Prepare to Die, you need to get to Geese. You don't actually have to beat Geese, you just have to get to him. I unlocked this achievement because I didn't beat Geese. I ran out of credits when I got to him.
Okay.
On normal difficulty, I'm not sure if I went to easy if I could do it or not.
Yeah.
I started on easy and tried, got to Geese, lost. This took me a little while, and then I finally got to the point where it's like, well, let me try it on normal, just to kind of like experience what the game is like, so I can kind of compare the two difficulty modes, and I got to Geese again. So I was like, well, I've improved, but I'm still not good enough to beat this game yet.
Yeah.
So there we go.
I got achievement, Bow Robbed.
Bow Robbed.
And that is when you lose to the guy who looks like Balrog. I forget his name.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
His name is, I believe... It's either Michael Max or Max Michaels. Both are, choose your porn star name. If I ever become an adult film star, I promise I will go by the name Max Michaels.
That's good. And then the other is Bogart Beef. And that is you win back-to-back matches finishing with corned beef.
Ah, all right. I like it. Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
I have surprisingly had a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah?
I thought that this was going to be a complete bust. I'm not going to lie. I know it's going to be, I have mixed feelings like when I walk in and you're like, there's not a lot to say about this game. Because I'm always like, oh God, this is going to be a bad episode. But I'm glad that like I feel like it turned out okay.
This is in your wheelhouse strongly. So
we talked about Moby. We talked about all of the girls on The Voice that we would like to kiss.
Yep.
We talked about a lot of fun things. But before we close it out, I have some questions for you. The first of which, Tyler, if you were to give this game a beard that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of beard would it be?
I would have to give this the beard, the blonde goatee of Phoebus from the Hunchback.
Phoebus and Futhead?
Phoebus and Futhead from the Hunchback of Notre Dame 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
There is a second.
I didn't know there was a second one.
Horribly produced. Like, you compare them side by side, and you could tell, like, they put, like, that animation budget we had for the first one, you get 10% of that because it looks terrible. And of course, in the book Hunchback of Notre Dame, like, it ends with Quasimodo and Esmeralda. The people find their skeletons entwined later because Quasimodo just like cuddles her dead body until he dies and rots. Of course, the Disney movie, she chooses to be with Phoebus, and he's all happy for them. He's like, okay, you won't. I get it. You don't. I wouldn't want to fuck me. It's fine.
He has a real Silence of the Lambs moment. Would you fuck me?
No,
I wouldn't.
I get it. I do. It's pretty horrific in here.
Futhead would though.
But and in Hunchback of Notre Dame 2, he has
Electric
to, like,
Boogaloo.
he of course finds his love interest who loves him for who he is, and he's like really good friends with Esmeralda and Phoebus's son. Like, no. This is
Phoebus Jr.
This is the worst, like, nice guys finish last thing ever.
Yeah.
So no. I love you. No, I'm best friends with your son. It's
Sweet
fine.
baby Phoebus Jr. He's
So
the best.
So it's just sort of for an imitation, for a pale imitation to me. So that's why.
I get it. All right. I have a question for you. Actually, a little bit of trivia. Did you know that the Hunchback of Notre Dame 3 actually just splices animation that they pull from Sleeping Beauty and the Robotech anime?
Quasimodo.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
I have another question for you. If you were to give this game a pair of glasses, like I'm wearing now, that sums up how you feel about it, what kind of glasses would you give it?
I would give it your glasses.
My glasses?
Your analyzing.
You're just looking around the
setting
room.
down for business. I would give it a Fallout Boy bobblehead on top of a green tea Kit Kat.
Wait. I want to let's rewind that.
I said Fallout
Did you say
Boy.
a Fallout Boy bobblehead?
Uh-huh, yeah.
Do you own a Fallout Boy bobblehead?
No.
If those don't exist, they need to.
I'm sure they do. Like one of that guy who got Jessica Simpson pregnant, surely he has a bobblehead.
Do you remember, is Fallout Boy, like, that's not even on the radar anymore, is it?
No, it so is.
Oh, really?
It so
really?
is.
Really?
Uh-huh,
I didn't know that. Because, like, when we were in college, like, I feel like that's all I heard about, from you at least.
In early college I did. I really liked
I know. And, like, we listened to some of that during D&D sessions,
because
didn't we?
I have recently seen them in concert.
Wait, what? Wait, how recently?
Oh,
Yesterday.
yes, yeah. Today, that's why I didn't get back to you until 8:00 today. No, a few months ago.
Really?
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that.
Yep. No, Brainy Jr. loves Fallout Boy.
Why are you sitting on this information? I feel like this is something you should have shared with me.
So yeah.
Were you embarrassed?
Melissa wanted to take her to a little bit.
Really?
A little bit.
Really?
Because it's just like, it's weird to see all these teenage girls, like, crazy for them. It's like,
Yeah.
they are my age. Like, they're not just like a little older than you.
Right.
They've been around since I was in high school.
Yeah. Well, Tyler, I just want to go on the record and say, I just want to take a moment and let you know that I'm not going to judge you and the thousands of our internet friends who listen to this. That's right, I said thousands.
Thousands.
They are also, I don't feel like they're going to judge you.
I mean, if they do, it's fine. Just kick it on Patreon, and you can judge and mock me all you want.
But just Tyler.
For $1 a month. Just me.
I'll get upset about it. Tyler secretly will get upset about it. I'm not going to lie. You'll be a good sport, though.
Yeah.
You're always a good sport. You're right. Yeah.
Is it really like that, Dave? Is it really that bad? It's fine. It's fine. I don't know. But your business glasses.
Oh, my business
Your
glasses.
business glasses.
I don't have separate.
If you're looking at the screen, it's your eyes look different.
Oh.
It changes. Your Mako eyes.
Oh, I
come
see.
out.
They turn on. Man.
Your glasses that cast scan. Just
Ooh.
breaking down a fighting game.
That's Google Glasses failed because they didn't give you the scan ability from Final Fantasy. I feel like I would wear anything. I don't care what it looks like. It could look like a big old dong hanging off my forehead. A big old gonorrhea dong just dangling like I'm an anglerfish, a deep sea anglerfish. I would wear it if it gave me the ability to look at someone or something and discern its weaknesses and strengths.
See how many hit points it is, or in real world, how many punches it would take to kill it. How many times I have to hit that for its life to end? Like just medium could do it for a long time. Punches, not haymakers.
Yeah,
just like.
I like that it's on a scale of punches and not like a deadly. I mean, punches are deadly, but like I feel like it'd be very boring if the anglerfish dong told you, "Oh, just one bullet on this guy, just one, just well aimed
one bullet in his head."
That'll do it. Even match. That's what I want. I want the Final Fantasy 11 like check ability.
Do you have a gun? Very easy.
Right.
Do you not? Impossible to gauge.
Yeah. Tyler.
Yes, Dave.
I've got another question for you.
Yeah? How many?
11.
Okay.
Here's the first of those 11. I want to know how much this game is on Amazon. If you were to buy it right now, used for the Sega Genesis on Amazon, how much do you think you would pay for it?
See, I bet the American, I bet the Japanese, the Famicom, or the Master what was in
The Mega Drive?
Mega Drive was in Japan. The Mega Drive version I bet is a lot more expensive. For this one, I'll say $9.
Tyler. Actually, I don't know what I said about Mega Drive is accurate, but we'll just roll with it.
I mean, I know it's the Mega Drive in Europe.
Right.
I don't know if it's Japan or not.
Yeah, I don't either. I feel like that's a thing that I should
Yeah.
know because I co-host this podcast, but I don't know it. Tyler, actual retail value of Fatal Fury used for the Sega Genesis at the time of this recording on Amazon, I like to mix my words up sometimes, is $3.99.
Man.
But to be fair, there are a lot of listings for this game, and $3.99 is the cheapest. It goes up to like the $80 mark. Okay. So there's a wide.
It could just be a
range
black
on
cartridge
this one.
with Final Fight or Fatal Fury written on it, and like, what's the white stuff? Whiteout.
Whiteout.
What's
Cocaine.
that white stuff? Cocaine. Cocaine and cum just spelled out. Fatal Fury.
You don't want to mix those two.
$120.
Yeah, you don't want to mix those. They frown upon that cartridge in the sperm banks and the cartels, amazingly enough.
It's the one that Venn diagram crosses.
Tyler, I have 10 more questions for you. Would you mind taking a little bit of a quiz?
Let's do it.
This quiz is called Fatal or Fury. The title's a little misleading because I
It's
don't
about
want
Beatles.
It's about the Beatles. I've organized 10 John Lennon questions for you, Tyler. The name of the quiz is Fatal or Fury. Okay, so the answer isn't going to be Fatal or Fury. It's not binary. It's going to be the answer will have either Fatal or Fury in the answer. That'll
okay.
have one of the words in the answer.
Okay.
Tyler, and you know how I like to do? I don't like to actually do questions. I'm going to read you a statement.
Okay, good.
That's how I quiz, yo.
Good.
Statement 1. A 2015 film about a high-speed chase in the post-apocalyptic wasteland.
Mad Max Fury Road.
Nailed it. Question 2, Tyler. You're doing very good. I'm very proud of you right now. A 1987 film known specifically for a scene involving a boiling rabbit.
Fatal Attraction.
Fatal Attraction, correct. Question 3, Tyler. A 2015 English language Swedish martial arts film which was written, directed by, and stars David Sandberg, and was famously crowdfunded through Kickstarter.
Kung Fury.
Kung Fury. Nailed it. Doing good. 3 for 3. Tyler, statement 4. A series of video games set in 1980s Japan.
Fatal Frame.
Fatal Frame. I didn't even get to finish the statement. All right. Statement 5.
This is where you hit Sagat.
Yeah. You've unlocked the difficulty mode. No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. This one, I felt, as I was writing this one, I was like, Tyler might get this. Statement 5. Bruce Lee's first major motion picture. And this is the title, the American title.
Fury of the Dragon?
That is a very good guess. You're right on the Fury side. Mm-hmm. It is Fists of Fury.
Fists of Fury.
And I learned something today. They mixed up you know how like there's this weird like, well, here in America it's Final Fantasy 3, but in Japan it's Final Fantasy 6. And it's like M. Bison and Balrog getting switched around in Street Fighter. That happened with Bruce Lee movies. His first release, they were going to call Fist of Fury, and the second one they were going to call Fists of Fury. But they done fucked up here in America and called the first movie Fists of Fury. So
when you said Final Fantasy VI, for some reason I heard Final Fantasy Sticks, and I was picturing the band Styx as the characters in Final Fantasy.
I would play that. I would go to that concert. Tyler, statement 6. Mm-hmm. This is the term for a stock character of a mysterious and seductive woman who charms and snares her lovers, often leading them into compromising, dangerous, and I wrote deadly situations, but I meant deadly.
Femme fatale?
Femme fatale. Very good. Question statement 7, Tyler. This is an error that causes a program to abort and may return the user to the operating system. Data that the program was processing might be lost.
Fatal error?
Fatal error or fatal execution error, yes. Statement 8, Tyler. You're doing very good. So proud of you today. So proud of you.
Thank you.
It's doing much better than I did on the last quiz you gave me, Andrew.
It's a little bit easier. And you probably didn't make it in 4 minutes before the show started.
I labored on this. I actually crafted this quiz specifically. Statement 8, Tyler. This character first appeared in 1963 alongside his Howling Commandos.
Nick Fury?
Nick Fury. Very good. Question statement number 9.
Fatal Bob?
Fatal Bob?
Go the other way.
Oh, man. Question 9. This is an easy one. This is a softball. This is what often prevents a tragic hero from succeeding.
A fatal flaw.
A fatal flaw. Very good. Last question / statement number 10. A 2007 sports comedy movie featuring actors such as Christopher Walken and George Lopez.
Balls of Fury?
Balls of Fury.
The ping pong movie?
Yep.
Yeah.
Damn near perfect score, dude. You got a 90%.
Yeah.
And I would even say 95%. Give you half credit on Fists of Fury because you used Fury in that.
That was good. I enjoyed that. That was good.
Well done. I hope all our listeners enjoyed it.
Well crafted.
Yeah, I hope they got to play along.
I'm surprised at movie questions because normally that's like I don't know what's going on with movies.
So I could have chosen some very, very, very obscure movies that had like that. I shouldn't say very like Caged Fury. Like that is a movie I've heard of before, but I never would have got like if I were given a quiz. You better fucking believe that I'm not opening that suitcase. I'm not winning the money. I'm gonna have to use a lifeline. I'm gonna get whammied, is what I'm saying.
Just gonna combine all the game shows.
I know. I was trying really hard. What I was trying to do was like work in a Scrabble one. Like I will definitely not get a triple word score.
Because I was waiting for a finishing move in Mortal Kombat, a fatality.
Here's what's great. I had that as a question on the quiz and then removed it because I was like, I feel like this quiz is already pretty like, I mean, it's not easy, but it's like, it's doable. I don't want to like have a super softball.
Yeah.
It's like, I want Fatal Flaw to be the easiest question in this quiz. Speaking of the Scrabble game show, can I just tell you that game show has probably the best theme song in game show history?
Oh, okay.
I'll have a link to that theme in the show notes. Well, it goes like this, Tyler. Da-da, da-da,
oh.
da-da,
okay.
da-da.
You're right. Okay. Now I do remember it. You're good.
And then it repeats that, and then it goes da 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 da. And that's it. It's very simple.
Yeah.
Very simple. That's how I like my
That's
game
where it's
show
beautiful.
themes.
Yeah.
I also like it when the whammy goes meow. If anyone out there listening is an animator, this is not a joke. I swear to you, this is not a joke. If you're an animator and could animate me a couple like whammies as in GIF form that I could use on the Twitch stream, I swear to you, I will just name your fucking price. I'm not joking. I had the idea the other day.
I was hoping is a little version of you reenacting all the whammies.
Oh, there's so many though. There's so many. Okay, a little
that
version
was somebody's job just to
know.
come up with whammy scenes.
I know. And I used to know his name, but I forgot it. Seriously, though, this is a serious request. I will pay you money if somebody can do that for me.
Very good. Very good. It's worth Patreon money.
No, it'll be from my own personal funds.
Okay.
I'm not going to put the burden on the show.
It's okay. It's Twitch. It's for the show. It makes it better. People would tune in for your whammies.
I like to think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. My massive whammies. My bangin whammies.
Very nice. Anything else?
I think that's it for me.
Okay.
Thanks for indulging me.
No, thank you. You put effort in that. It was good.
I did. Thank you. Thank you for noticing, senpai.
You're my senpai, Dave. You got that backwards.
We're dual senpai. We're a Devati relationship.
Trying to get each other to notice each other.
Uh-huh.
Notice me,
Constantly.
senpai.
It's how we live.
Thanks for listening, everybody. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. So don't miss the next episode. I think that will have to be Halloween's episode.
Where we specifically talk about Halloween by Dave Matthews Band.
Uh-huh.
We're going to do it for as long as we can.
I hear that's rare.
We hope.
He hardly ever plays it.
I don't know if that's changed, but when I was in college, it was a rare one. I have heard it.
Yeah.
And not as many times as Taryn, who's probably heard it like 700 times. Not an exaggeration.
No, yeah, you're right.
So you were talking about Halloween, so that means the next one will probably be
Five Nights at Freddy's. Yep.
Okay. I will stream that. I feel bad for not streaming Fatal Fury.
Yeah.
And I might go back because I kind of want to play it. I might go back and do it anyway.
Just to beat it?
Just for funsies. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe if I get those whammies, quick, I'll do it sooner.
Let's see. So we're doing that next. Hey. You know what helps us?
Oh, not me. Them.
Reviews. Yeah, well, hey, you too.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because we both left 5-star reviews already. So.
I have left a review on my own podcast. Thank you.
So, iTunes is the biggest place. So if you want to help us out, go to iTunes, find TADPOG, give us a 5-star rating, write a review. It helps. It's good. You can also find our T-shirt on Amazon. Type in TADPOG. Get the blue one.
Get the blue one,
real one
with all the 5-star reviews. Avoid the bootleg 1-star piece of shit shirt.
So yeah, you can express it there. We have Facebook, we have Twitter if you want to get in touch with us. So if there's a game you want us to play, you have a Patreon request, whatever, just get in touch with us and whatever you ask, we'll get to that eventually.
Don't worry, guys. Like Tyler said, we're going to be back. We're going to be talking about Five Nights at Freddy's. In the meantime, you can always find us at tadpog.com. That's where the show notes live. You can find us on Facebook. We're at facebook.com/tadpog. There's a lot of cool people there doing a lot of cool shit. I have been kind of not super active on Facebook recently, but I'm going to try to get back into it. I was doing good for a while, and then what happens is real life kind of catches up, and I got to deal with shit in the meat space, and I kind of have to make a little detour and go around Facebook for just a little bit.
You said meat space. My mind went, there's a
Meat
joke
spin.
there. There's a joke there. You got vagina. Meat space.
Got it. You can also find us on Twitter. We are at @tadpog_podcast. It's cumbersome, I realize. Big ups. That's the thing I'm going to start saying again. Big ups. And I say again, but I've probably only said it like 3 times in my life. Big ups to everybody
It's getting
on
better
Twitter.
every time.
Now, I'm more confident. Every time I say it, you look at me like you don't break eye contact. So it's like, I feel good about it.
Oh, senpai.
So big ups to our friends on Twitter who are retweeting us, especially our episode announcements, because, hey, those help spread the word, and we want to spread the word. I haven't talked to you about this, Tyler, but Kid Chameleon did really well. Yeah, it did really well, and I attribute it to our wonderful listeners who fucking share our show. And it's just like, it's amazing. Guys, thank you so much.
So I'm glad it did well, and Drew's D's or GTFO got
maximum exposure.
Spread out.
Maximum exposure.
Oh, because that was a fun little thing when Bailey like had to comment on the post telling Drew to fuck off.
Yeah, it was good.
And then Phil had to chime in. You should say 10 inches or get the fuck up.
Right. I like Bailey's emojis. And you know what? I'm just saying, maybe we need to get Drew on here for every episode. Maybe we get our listens up. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So Drew, here's your open invitation. Bailey, your episode did okay too, I guess.
So I guess really he's winning so far.
Yeah, I mean, if we were to declare a whammy, I'm just kidding. I love you. But I am 10 inches, just saying.
Get the fuck in.
Yeah. I like to take a moment. I like to take a break from this very weird thing that I just said, where I lied about my penis. And I would like to thank some people
Allegedly.
who have recently donated on our Patreon. I would like to thank Douglas from Better Made for upping his donation significantly, I would say. I would also like to thank Exalted Lord Micah Purdue, a.k.a. Micah Purdue, for upping his pledge. Dude, thank you. We appreciate it. If you want to join in on all the spending money fun, you can do so at patreon.com/tadpog. It will fund the penis surgery that I desperately need to not GTFO the next time we're on Hops and Heroes.
Next on the podcast, it's just Bailey by herself talking.
I defy her to show me her 10-inch penis. I also want to thank Mike H because he sent me an email sharing what he says one of the worst animes he's ever seen. I agree. I have seen this. It's worth mentioning. I think I might have brought it up in Fatal Fury 2. I definitely remember watching it. There is a Fatal Fury Legend of the Hungry Wolf anime. It is horrible. It is very, very bad. When he says that it is one of the worst animes that he's seen, I kind of have to agree with him. It's very bad. So link to that in the show notes. Go watch it.
Yeah.
Enjoy yourself. He also shares a Fatal Fury motion picture, which I did not know existed. That will also be in the show notes at tadpog.com. I also need to take a moment to thank Douglas Randolph for two reasons. Reason one, he is going to a con called GDEX, which I went to the website. It looks like a lot of fun. I would love to go to that if I didn't, have the real life things that I have to do. He offered to hand out Tadpog cards. So
awesome.
That's amazing. Thank you, Douglas. We appreciate it. We also love having multiple Dougs who listen to the show, which is why I have to use your last name. Second best thing about that, and Douglas, if you're listening to this and you haven't received the cards that I sent you yet, and you don't want spoilers, you skip ahead. Warning, just spoiler warning specifically for Douglas, and you know which Douglas you are. Go ahead, skip ahead. You skipped? Okay, great. Okay, by now he's probably listening, man. But I got to send Douglas my garbage because I sent the cards in a box that the cards were loose in there. And I was like, I can't have loose cards. I got to pack it with something to keep the cards from flopping around in the box. So I took the two bags that I had in my car, a McDonald's bag and a Taco John's bag, just yanked them right off the back of the floorboard, crumpled them up, crammed them down in the box, taped it up. And I was like, I was so full of glee as I taped it up because it was like, sending somebody my garbage. Literally garbage. There's absolutely no value to the bags or the cards.
Because the way you did it was like Blue's Clues to me. Sending somebody my garbage. Sending somebody my garbage. Sending somebody my garbage. Because they like my podcast.
So Douglas, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah. If you want to send us something, if you have a letter, if you have games, you have food, good or bad, whatever. We love having it and doing that for intros and having response from fans. I love postcards. I got this huge postcard boner. I'm fucking loving it. It's amazing. Please
send us your boner postcards.
Yep, please. Just go take a picture of your penis.
Ooh.
Go to Walmart, get it developed, and send that like it's a postcard. Just put a stamp on the front of it and just try to send it through the mail.
But have you seen the sign at Walmart though that says 10 inches or GTFO? If your wiener is not 10 inches or above, it's like the reverse of the express checkout. There's a specific line in the Walmart photo center that says 10 inches and up, where you just get right on in there.
And they have a yardstick. They will check.
They definitely will check. Don't try to fool them like I did.
Don't push it down or try to lose weight or like trim your pubes back really short. Like, no,
It's
they're gonna
not.
check.
Yeah, it's
They're
not going to
gonna
work.
check.
And they also don't measure balls to tip. They measure bottom of shaft to tip.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
There is.
There's a hypotenuse involved.
So if you need to send this, please send it to TADPOG Studios, care of Nicole Nance, P.O. Box 3785, Paducah, Kentucky 42002. We also have an Instagram, TADPOG_podcast. Putting pictures up there. The Shadowrun poster will be up there.
Yep.
So
We're on
it's all
Twitch.
good.
Just search for TADPOG on Twitch. You'll find us. Sometimes I stream games. I've been trying to do it regularly, but shame
Awesome.
on me. I miss Fatal Fury.
I applaud you. It's awesome.
And then we're streaming a D&D game on Saturdays at 9
fuck
Central.
yes.
So check that out if you are into that kind of stuff.
Our things on moves, I think more drive. Link to that track on the show notes at tadpog.com. Mm-hmm. How you want to close this out, Dave?
I want to close it out like Duck King.
Okay.
Which could be the Rat King's cousin, but it also could be a shoot off of Burger King, where they exclusively sell duck-based products. Food products.
I'm down. Or
like
a guy who's always crouching.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
I like that too. The Duck King. That dude is the king of ducking.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, okay. Or maybe it's like a heating and air guy. He's really good at ducting.
The Duck King, yeah.
Right. Hey, remember when we were dads?
Yep.
Remember when we did dad things at the end of our show?
And we're really pleased with ourselves about it.
I know. Tyler, we're so bad. We're so bad.
We're cards.
Yeah. Remember when we cut up at the end of our episode?
So that's like one of those versions.
Tyler, I have a question for you. It's very important. Would you rather fight one king-sized duck or 100 duck-sized kings?
100 duck-sized kings.
I feel like that's probably the answer. But
Yeah.
but think about it this
It'd be like a bunch of serve bots, though.
thinking about it this way, 100 kings, that's a lot of money. They got a lot of resources. They can call in like probably an airstrike.
Yeah. Or buy a gun.
Yeah, but then how would they operate?
They'd have
it?
to all work together. It'd be like Bruce Campbell when he fought all the little ashes in Army of Darkness.
Nice pull.
Yeah.
Nice pull.
All right. So until next time. Tropical Capricorn. That's glad we went literal duck.
Yeah, I know. We both did. And not like even a particular duck. Just like the most generic duck we possibly could imagine. If this podcast had whammies, one of them would have gone across the screen, I feel like. Do you have a dramatic reading?
Nope.
No.
Nope.
That's okay.
Because I thought of one I wanted to do, then I forgot about it. I forgot what song it was.
Living La Vida Loca.
That'd be good too.